सभी को मेरे जय जिनेन्द्र। आज जैन टॉक्स का हमारा 172nd टॉक सेशन है और आज हमारे साथ यूएस से मिस करुणा जैन जुड़े हैं, जो कि एक बहुत ही रोचक विषय के ऊपर आज बात करने वाले हैं। ये विषय इंटरेस्टिंग इसलिए होने वाला है क्योंकि आज दो सब्जेक्ट के ऊपर बात होने वाली है, एक अहिंसा और दूसरी इक्वानिमिटी। अहिंसा जो हमारी डे टू डे लाइफ का एक पार्ट है। जब हम जैन धर्म में जन्म लेते हैं तो अहिंसा बचपन से ही कहीं ना कहीं हमारे जीवन के अंदर, हर परिस्थितियों के अंदर, हर सिचुएशन के अंदर हमें देखने मिलती है, फूड से लेके हमारी लाइफस्टाइल के अंदर। और जिसे हम इक्वानिमिटी कहते हैं, यानी कि समता, जिसमें हमें जैन धर्म में सामायिक का कॉन्सेप्ट जो है वो पूरा इक्वानिमिटी हम कैसे प्रैक्टिस करें उसके ऊपर है। सो ये अहिंसा और समता जैन धर्म के बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट पिलर्स हैं और इस टॉपिक के ऊपर आज इस मंच के माध्यम से बात होने वाली है। आज हम एक डिफरेंट व्यू पॉइंट, डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव, डिफरेंट एंगल इस विषय को लेकर मिलने वाले हैं। शायद हम हमारे जो ट्रेडिशनल व्यू पॉइंट्स है उससे कुछ डिफरेंट हमें आज के इस टॉक सेशन में प्राप्त होगा। सो मैं आशा करता हूं कि हमारे जितने भी व्यूवर्स जुड़े हैं वो आज का टॉक सेशन एंजॉय करेंगे और बहुत कुछ इसके अंदर से लर्निंग लेंगे। मैं हमारे आज के स्पीकर को इनवाइट करूं उससे पहले मैं संक्षिप्त में उनकी लाइफ जर्नी के बारे में और उनकी क्वालिफिकेशन, उनकी लाइकिंग्स, प्रैक्टिसेस, उसके बारे में आपको एक शॉर्ट इंट्रोडक्शन देना चाहूंगा। मिस करुणा जैन is on a spiritual journey to self-realization. Before 2002, she was a regular person working in information technology, having family, kids, going to temple as a ritualistic practice. Around 2001, she started attending Swadhyay at the Jain Temple in Milpitas, California. This was the first time she went beyond rituals to understanding the core teachings of Jainism. This evolved over the years with learning from other religions, reading spiritual books, doing meditations and yoga. She shifted career paths in 2007 by starting a healing practice using holistic approaches to healing mind, body, and soul. She is a certified life coach, hypnotherapist, energy healer, past life regression therapist. She did her master's in physics, which helps her in combining science and spirituality together. She accesses various realms of consciousness in her work. Soul integration is an important part of her work, or I would say her work journey. Being a healer and teacher has given her an untraditional perspective on the teachings of various religions and spiritual practices. Teaching and empowering others is her passion. So basically, this was a brief about her, and I'm very happy to have her on this Jain Talks platform. I sincerely welcome Miss Karuna Jain to start our today's talk session. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Jai Jinender. I'm very honored to be here today, and it's a real pleasure to be able to talk to everybody over here. I wanted to share my screen before I get started. All right. So that was a very good introduction. So thank you, Neilji, for the introduction. So today we're going to talk about two big pillars of Jainism, which is Ahimsa and Equanimity. And we're going to do the best we can in an hour's time, right? Because these are really big pillars and you could talk for hours on it. So we're going to have a brief introduction about me, which I think probably I don't need to give. Neilji has given that. Then we're going to talk about who are we and what are we doing here? Because unless you know who you are, you cannot make progress, because you need to know the baseline from where you are starting, and then you can make progress further, right? And I'm going to share a little non-traditional viewpoint on Ahimsa. We'll move to discussion on equanimity, and then I'll share some tools and techniques that you can take with you and practice every day. And then we will open it up to Q&A. So I believe you can, the participants can type in their questions in the chat box, and we will cover those questions later. Yeah. So a brief thing, I think already spoke to you mostly about my background. But as I was going to the mandir, I was volunteering there, and I was volunteering as a Hindi teacher. And during the Jain school time, I was sitting in the adult swadhyay. I also volunteered in the library at the temple, and which gave me access to a lot of books on Jainism and other topics. And I'm a bookworm person, so that was like being in heaven. I read one of the books by Acharya Sri Mahapagnaji, and he talks more about Preksha Dhyan and Preksha meditation. And that actually fascinated me because I was interested in meditation and yoga from a young age. So when I was reading his book, he talked about using hypnosis to understand and learn Jain principles. And that surprised me because I thought hypnosis is for entertainment purposes. So I Googled up hypnosis, and it was a state of focused concentration. And I said, that's exactly what we need when we are studying, because otherwise our mind is going all over the place and we can't pick up what we are reading. So that got me started on a journey on hypnotherapy. I started with self-hypnosis. I saw tremendous changes happening. My productivity went up, my memory retention, memory recall went up just by learning one technique, self-hypnosis. So I was fascinated with the brain and how the brain works. And I said, okay, let me learn a little bit more. Just as a hobby, I wasn't planning to switch careers. But the divine had different plans for me, and I landed up shifting careers from being in the information technology arena, working in large information technology companies, to starting my own healing center. So I started as a hypnotherapist, and slowly over time, I added life coaching. I am a Holy Fire Reiki master. I'm an advanced pranic healer. I have my very own compassion healing modality of energy healing. I do past life regression. I also do in-between life regression. And basically in between life is you don't take birth and on earth immediately after moving on. You keep, the soul is indestructible, and the soul goes to various different places around the universe to learn and study and grow, because you don't get birth on earth so easily. And that our Jainism also talks about how rare it is to get birth as a human on earth. So in between the time you come back to earth, you are existing somewhere else, and there is a lot of learning there too. So that's the time we do in-between therapies. But anyway, that's not the topic today. I just wanted to bring it up because we are talking of Jainism, which believes in the theory of reincarnation and the theory of karma, right? So to actually go on this journey of reaching enlightenment, reaching nirvana or moksha, you need to understand that who are you at a soul level? Are you just a human, or are you something more than a human, right? So yeah, it's been a profound change in my life since I started Karuna Healing Center. In my own life, going through a lot of inner work, I spend nearly 2 hours a day on inner work, 7 days a week, no break ever, okay, for the last 10, 12 years. So it's so much, we have collected so many things over many, many lifetimes that it takes a long time for us to really clear up all our karmic baggages. And that's why in the olden days, people sat in caves doing meditation, right? Because there is so much to clean up inside. But luckily, in this day and age, we don't have to go to caves. We can be a regular sadhak and we can continue doing our inner work. So coming back to, that was a brief introduction about me. Let's look at who are we and what are we doing here, right? So I'm going to share a different perspective maybe about who we are. So are we just a physical body made of bones and blood and tissues, or are we something more, right? So let's look at a simplistic model of understanding who we are. We all have emotions, right? So we have something called emotional body. It contains all of our emotions that has not been resolved over time, right? And then that all is collected and put into a body called the emotional body. We all have thoughts. According to science, we have about 60,000 thoughts in a day. So all the thoughts that are floating around in our mental body, and then we all live a life by some values. That's your spiritual body. So if you look at it, you have 4 bodies. One is a seen body, which you can see with your 5 senses. That is your physical body, right? But you have 3 unseen bodies, and all of these bodies are interacting with each other. Okay, they are tightly connected to each other. So in order to enjoy optimal health, you have to take care of each and every body of yours. You could be eating healthy, you could be exercising, and you can still go through diseases, right? Mental issues. Why? Because your other bodies are unbalanced. And I think that's what's changing now is we as a human species are rising in consciousness. And so we are actually becoming more and more aware that we are not just this physical body, we are an energy field, right? Because if I take a human body and dissect it, I cannot figure out where your happiness was lying, where your beliefs were lying, where your experiences were lying. Why? Because it's not part of your physical body, it's part of your energetic body. Okay. And now there is so much science which is proving this. So it's no longer a concept anymore. It has been proven by science that we are an energy field. There are even cameras called aura cameras, which take pictures of your energy field. And you can get a lot of information about yourself through looking at your auric picture. For example, I have an aura picture over here, right? And that is the picture taken through an aura camera by myself, right? So you can see that we are not just a physical body, we're an energetic body. And if you want to if you want to enjoy optimal health, if you want to enjoy great health, you have to become aware that your emotions and thoughts are affecting your your physical health, right? Values, you cannot really have strong values if your emotional and mental body is too cluttered, right? Because we know that when we are in a fit of anger, we don't remember our values anymore, right? You forget to be compassionate and kind if that is one of your values. So you really cannot have strong values if you have a lot of emotional and mental baggage. And we all have it, right? Because we never knew how to handle emotions. So what we did was we buried it within. And we created a belief system which says, time will heal. But time doesn't heal anything. It only buries things deeper in your energy field. So you cannot consciously remember things, okay? A conscious mind is only 5 to 10% of our brain power. So really, you can't remember everything. But you meet a friend after 20 years and you remember everything about the friend. Why? Because everything from your subconscious filters up to the conscious mind, and that's how you remember things. So you have buried a lot of karmic baggage from many, many lifetimes, right? And therefore, cleaning your body itself, it takes a long time. That's why in olden days, people sat in caves, as I said, so much to clean up inside of you. And when you start going on this inner journey, that's the time you become more humble, because you realize how much stuff you've collected. And then you become more compassionate towards others, because you understand how much they have collected and they are reacting more and more from their karmic forces. It's like all of our karmic things is creating a force within us, a force field, which is propelling us to act in certain ways, behave in certain ways, think in certain ways, right? That's why a lot of effort is required to go on an inner journey. So looking at this picture itself, you can see that you are not just this body. That's one of the things you have to change. There has to be a paradigm shift in your thinking about yourself. Okay, you are this energy field, right? You are more than what you see of yourself. And if you want to do anything in life, you need to know that you have to many times go against the karmic forces which are propelling to act in certain ways. How do you do that? You need to learn how to clean your emotional and mental body. Okay. In the physical body, you can apply rationalization, and you can say, if I eat healthy, if I exercise, I'm likely to have a better physical body. But when it comes to your emotional body and mental body, there is no rationalization. You cannot rationalize an emotion away. You could be a double PhD, but if you have a fear of flying, you cannot rationalize it away, right? You cannot rationalize somebody's belief away, right? So you need different tools and techniques to work with an emotional and mental body. And that's my area of specialization. I specialize in working on the emotional, mental, spiritual body, right? And all of that is affecting your physical health, right? So if now they're recognizing that behind most of the diseases that you have, there is this huge mountain of emotional and mental stuff, which is manifesting in the physical body as a disease or a discomfort, right? That's why with allopathy, with medical thing, we don't have root causes of 80% of the diseases. Right? Why? Because the root cause doesn't lie in the physical body. The root causes lies in the other bodies. And therefore, more and more people are awakening to that, and they are looking at holistic ways of healing their diseases. Yes, you continue with medical because that's taking care of your physical, but you also need to take care of your emotional, mental bodies. Right? So more and more people are coming for holistic healing. That's why the holistic wellness industry is growing rapidly. It's a $7 billion industry already, and is growing at 6.75, last I read, % per annum, which is faster than many other industries, right? Because more and we are moving from Kali Yuga to Satyug. Okay, we are transitioning an era, a yug change is happening right now, right? So there is a lot more awareness at a subconscious level for people to start waking up, right? There's a call which says, wake up, right? Everything that we've been written in your religion has been trying to teach you something, right? So it's time for people to go beyond the rituals, beyond just praying, to start taking accountability for your life, taking responsibility for your life, taking responsibility for your emotions and thoughts, right? And that's why it's so much more important that you start working on it. Don't keep pushing things away. You have an experience, you go through grief, you go through anger, you go through frustration, and you just bury it. Don't do that. Find out tools and techniques to release it, right? Because the heavier your emotional and mental body is, the more difficulty you will have with life, right? And at some point of time, it will manifest in your physical body. Because when it manifests in the physical body, then human beings wake up. Then they start taking action. Even though before that, they may know they are stressed out, but they'll keep ignoring that stress, right? Because we are on such a fast living lifestyle, right? But we need to pause. We need to pause and take time for what we call as swadhyay. Swa is self, dhya is dhyan, right? You have to take time out during the day to reflect, take time out for swadhyay, okay? There is no shortcut to reaching nirvana. You have to put in the self-effort. You have to not just take knowledge in. Knowledge belongs to the mind, okay? Knowing belongs to the heart. The journey of going from one level of consciousness to a higher level of consciousness has to come from the heart, right? That's why in meditation, we are trying to go beyond the mind. The mind cannot understand spirituality. The mind cannot understand real truths. Okay, that's why Mahapragnaji talked about using hypnosis. When you use hypnosis, you're going into your subconscious, into your deep unconscious, right? So you need to learn that there is a time you have to take out every day to do swadhyay, self-reflection. Don't believe everything anybody says, not even if it's a big acharya, okay? Because what he's saying, how does it impact you? You will know only through self-reflection. Otherwise, it's just going to remain as knowledge, and too much knowledge collected over time can become like undigested food in your intestines, okay? Because it's just knowledge. You're not converting into experiential self-realization, okay? And when you die, you're not taking the physical body with you. You're leaving it over here. But what you're taking is you are taking your energy field with you. So when you start thinking, what is more important? Is it the physical body that's very important, or is it the energetic body? Because what you take with you is your resource, is your asset, right? That's what you're collecting. Like in the physical realm, you're collecting money in the bank, right? But actually, if you look at from the soul perspective, your energy field is your biggest asset. So you want to collect more and more positive things in your energy field, because that's going to determine your next incarnation and the next after that, right? So you come into this earth with one particular energy field, which is the baggage you've collected and all the learnings and wisdom from many, many lifetimes, right? Your job in this lifetime is to clear up as much as you can of this energy field. So when you exit the earth, you're going back with a cleaner energy field, right? So you have to start changing perspective about your life. What is more important? Is it all the outer work we do, or what is more important is the inner work? You know, that shift has to happen, because we keep ourselves so busy in the outer world that we don't take time to do our inner work. But when you leave this earth, nothing of the outer world you can take with you. You can't take 1 paisa with you, right? Why? Because it's material things. This world is a maya, it's an illusion. All the material things is like props in a play. Like Shakespeare said, life is a play, props in a play. They are not that important. They are the props in the play, the things you put on the stage when you're doing a play. So what is more important is what is a play trying to teach you, right? So That is why it is so important to recognize that you are not just a physical body, you're way more than that. Can you take out time in your day to understand your beliefs that you're living your life through, to understand what kind of emotions you spend your time with throughout the day? What kind of thoughts do you focus on most of the time, right? Because that's why who you are, you have to know. And only way to know is through Swadhyay, because we are acting on autopilot. Yeah, science also proves that 90% of our actions are autopilot. We are not really thinking. Right? So you have to pause, stop, slow down. Understand, where do you spend your day on? Right? What kind of emotions do you spend your day? Are you a happy person normally? Are you a person who's concentrating on the negativity? Right? So get to know yourself, because that's the only way you can make change. Unless you know who you are, you cannot change. Okay, so you have to first be brutally honest with yourself and know who you are. What are the thoughts you live your life by? What are the emotions? What kind of values do you live your life by? Right? Because those are the things you will carry with you in the next lifetime. So it's so critical to change your perspective. Right? I want to present another view of this thing. We all know that we are made of atoms, right? An atom, if you look at it, what is an atom? An atom is neutrons, protons, electrons, right? So only 1% of the atom is matter. 99% of the matter is atom is space. Think about that for a moment. 1% of the atom is matter, 99% of the atom is space. Your body is, or you are made of atoms too. So that means you are 1% matter and you are 99% non-matter. The mind cannot even understand that. That's why we go beyond the mind in meditation, right? Because the reality that you're perceiving today is only 1% correct. 99% of your reality, you're not perceiving it. By looking at a person's body, I really cannot make out anything about how he lived his life. What thoughts did he have? What emotions did he carry? What experiences did he have? Right? Why? Because you are perceiving things only with your 5 senses, and 5 senses limit you. If you want to study any sacred text, any sacred books, you have to use your inner intuition. You have to develop other powers, other senses. Okay, because a lot of the knowledge is so precious and sacred, it's not there in the physical words that you read, because words are very limiting. I cannot even explain the taste of guava to a person who's not eaten guava. What words are you going to use to explain the taste of guava? There are no words. And every time I try to explain that fruit, it's only a partial truth that I'm speaking. Sorry. So to know the real truth about your existence, about the universe, you have to go beyond words. You have to develop other senses. Those are also known as ESP, extrasensory perception. Okay, that your other bodies, the 3 bodies we talked about, are subtle energy because you can see them, whereas your physical body is the densest energy of all. That means the atoms are tightly packed. That's why you see a form, right? So for example, I have developed a lot of ESP, right? So I can read energy fields. Okay, why? Everybody can develop these senses, right? But I have developed it so I can read a lot of things which normal people cannot, because I perceive more than 1% of reality. Okay, so, and that is just because I have developed this not only in this lifetime, but in many, many lifetimes. I'm a past life regression therapist, right? I do past lives not only for others, but for myself. I visited hundreds and hundreds of my past lives, right? I brought back a lot of learnings from different lifetimes and assimilated it into this lifetime, besides just going and releasing and clearing baggage. Right? That's why when I shifted careers, the new career came very spontaneously to me, very easily to me. Right? So on this earth, I have been in my new career 15 years, but because I have done this work in many, many lifetimes, everything comes very easily to me because I am able to go back and bring back the knowledge and wisdom I've gathered in other lifetime, right? So you can develop a lot of subtle, like a gut feeling we could talk about, right? What is gut feeling? It's your intuition talking to you. Most of the visionaries on this world who have created something different have gone by their gut instinct, right? That's how they know how to take the company from one place, point A to point B. They use their instincts. right? So you can develop that. Telepathy is another instinct, ESP instinct, right? We know about telepathy. It's there in our books. Right. So there are a lot of other, I think I read once, there are about 22 senses we have, out of which we only focus our life on 5 senses. So we spend so much of our life thinking that what we are seeing with the 5 senses is the real world, right? But it's not. So think about it. If you want to focus on something, would you focus on 99% or would you focus on 1%? Right? That's a change in thinking. Where should you focus your attention? Should we be focusing on 99%? And 99% is affecting your 1%. So if in the 1%, the matter part of you, in the physical part of you are developing a disease, the root cause is lying here, which is manifesting in your physical body as diseases or discomforts, right? So if you look at a quote, I love Nikola Tesla. I think one of the greatest scientists in the world, okay? If you want to find the secrets of the universe, you have to think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So I said we are energy beings. Energy vibrates like a sine wave up and down. So we are vibrational beings, right? Energy travels in waves. It has a frequency, number of waves per second. So you are a frequency being, right? So he's talking about, if you really want to know, study the non-matter. That's the next quote of his. If you can study the non-physical component, you will make more progress in 1 decade than in all centuries, previous centuries of your existence. So where would you want to make progress? First, you have to know who you are. Then only you can make progress, right? But you start working with your other bodies, you will make more progress towards nirvana and moksha in this lifetime than you would have ever made in another lifetime. You have that ability now. Why? Because there are so many tools, techniques available now. There's so many things available for you to work in this other subtle energy realm. It's no longer a psychic phenomena like in olden times. There is a lot of science backing it up. Quantum physics is actually helping bring up a lot of our spiritual truths into the world, right? And quantum physics goes against Newtonian physics. So Newtonian physics is more about matter. Quantum physics is going beyond in the subtle realms, right? So there is so much scientific evidence today to let you know that you need to take care of your non-physical aspects more and more. So start thinking, who are we? And now let's talk about what are we doing here, right? At a deep level, each and every living being on this planet is looking to find perpetual happiness, right? Aren't we all, right? We are all trying to be happy, right? And we are finding, because if we live in the world of only 5 senses, then we are trying to find happiness through matter, because that's all we see, 1% of reality, right? And we keep collecting more and more matter, seeking happiness. So you buy something new, you feel happy for a while, happiness goes away. But your subconscious says, no, go seek more happiness. Because at a subconscious level, you are seeking perpetual happiness. So the next desire starts and the next desire starts. It never ends. Why? Because you're trying to find happiness through the 1% and it's not going to work, right? You can have as much money as you want. We know about a lot of people who have billions of dollars and who still did suicide, right? Why? Because that is not bringing you that happiness that you need, right? Steve Jobs, he was searching for spirituality. He even went to and lived in monastery, right? Because he knew there's something more. He had acquired everything in the physical world and it was not giving him the fulfillment he needed. So he wanted to go beyond and understand what do we need, right? So it's time for us to wake up. We are spending so much time doing things in the physical world. Yeah, it's good to do prayers, but that alone is not going to help you. You have to put in more self-effort than that. You understand? You have to do more things than that. You have to learn to take care of your emotions and thoughts. You have to learn to understand what are the beliefs by which you're living your life, right? So in order to understand what are we doing here, we are all seeking happiness. Whatever path we choose, we are all seeking happiness. That's our ultimate desire at a high umbrella level. That is your desire, to seek happiness. But now you have to understand you cannot get happiness totally from outer world, however much you try. So you need to do swadhyaya, take time to do your inner work. Okay. Without that, there is no way you're going to get perpetual happiness, right? What is state of nirvana? It's perpetual happiness, bliss, right? Peace, joy, right? So if you want to reach that state in some lifetime, and you want to because your soul craves to be united back into the divine, right? So now you have to start prioritizing your life. Life, to get birth on earth is very difficult. You got an opportunity to come to earth. Make the best use of it. So earth is a school. You may not get birth again for next thousands of years. Okay, so when you are here, don't let a single day go wasted, because you don't know when you have to leave this earth. So don't postpone taking care of your emotions and thoughts for later. Take care of it now, because you don't know when you have to leave, right? That's why I work 2 hours a minimum every day on myself, right? My energy is my most precious resource, and I am very, 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 very conscious about my energy, right? I will not allow my energy to get disturbed. At least consciously, I won't, right? Because that's my asset. That's what I'm going to take with me when I leave this earth. Nothing else I'm going to take with me. There is no harm in enjoying wealth. You should enjoy wealth. You are in a earth, which is a form of matter. Enjoy all the matter. So enjoying matter is not the problem. The problem is attachment to that, right? When you are very attached to matter, right, then you're creating suffering. Suffering happens because of attachment, right? Have as many houses you want, have as many cars, but just, can you find inner peace if they're not around with you? Right? That is equanimity. Can you stay in a state of equanimity, balanced emotions, irrespective of what is going on in the world outside you? And how will that happen? Only when you realize that you are not, this outer world is not real. When you recognize your inner world is real and you have made your inner world very strong, then really anything in the outer world is not going to affect you. Right? To reach that state, you have to take care of your feelings and your emotions and thoughts and build up your values every time. And we'll come back to Ahimsa. I think we should go there. All right. So this is a definition of Ahimsa I've taken out from Wikipedia, right? Sorry. What I like about this concept, I think everybody knows Ahimsa. It means non-violence, non-injury, absence of a desire to harm any life form. Right? But it's also way more than that, right? Now that you know that you're not just the physical body, it's not just injuring things in the physical body, physical world. It's also all the injury you create with your thoughts and emotions. In fact, you create more violence with your thoughts and emotions than you do in the physical world. How many times do you slap somebody? Hopefully not that many, right? So the physical violence is way less compared to the violence that you create with your thoughts and emotions. And that's what I want to bring forward, right? So in the Jain philosophy, we are actually talking about it. Violence refers primarily to injuring one's own self, right? Whereas in many other religions, we are talking outward violence. But here we have something very profound, which is, how are you injuring your soul? Because everything starts from within you, right? The outer world is a reflection of the inner world. So if you're holding a lot of anger within you, you're going to attract more people and situations that will create more anger in you. And then you're going to spend your life blaming those people and situations because you are living your life thinking the outer world is real. But when you start shifting your perspective, because in the world of energy, like energy attracts like energy. Okay, so you have to take responsibility for everything that you're manifesting in this world. And that's tough. Let me tell you, it's tough to take responsibility. It's so easy to blame others, right? We can do it. So my life is miserable because I have this horrible boss. Yeah. But you manifested that boss. Why did you manifest that boss in your life? Right? That's the main question. And you manifested it because of what you're holding in your karmic body, in your energy body. The karmic body is part of the energy body, okay? The energy body is vast then, but because we understand karma, I'm using that as a basis, right? So basically, Ahimsa is the principle of non-violence, but the understanding of non-violence has to change. Yeah. So in order to understand Ahimsa, I think we have to first focus on Himsa, on violence. Because we as human beings understand violence more than we understand non-violence. Non-violence is a concept, very nice, good to discuss, but really we don't understand it so much. First, you have to, if you open the news, for example, that you start the TV on, what do they talk about? 99% of the news is based on negativity, negative news, right? You go through your entire day, everything goes well, one thing goes wrong. Where are you going to focus? On that one wrong thing. Because as human beings, we have got accustomed to focusing on negativity. It starts from childhood, right? Parents start with saying, don't do this, otherwise this will happen. Don't do that, otherwise this will happen. So it's the don't that is emphasized. And you get programmed to think don't. Right? So we get programmed to think more of the negativity versus positivity. So in order to understand Ahimsa, first you have to understand the violence part of it. Okay, what violence are you creating towards yourself? And what violence are you creating in the outer world? So with your thoughts, you're creating a lot more violence. I may meet somebody and I say, hi, so nice to meet you. I've been thinking of you. Maybe we are lying. Maybe we are not happy to see that person because we have a lot of anger against that person. So 70 to 90% of your communication is nonverbal, scientifically proven, right? So even though you're with a person, most of your communication happening with that person is through your energy field. So with your energy field, you will be creating a lot of violence against that person because you're so mad and angry with that person. And with your words, you're saying, oh, so nice to meet you. I'm so happy you came, right? Where is the violence created? Through your thoughts and emotions. Yeah. So your thoughts and emotions are creating more violence in the world than anything you're doing in the world of matter. Yeah, we focus so much attention on being vegetarian, eating vegetarian food, non-violence, don't want to hurt beings, right? But we don't focus on how our thoughts are affecting others. Right? I feel sad sometimes when you see our Jainism, only 0.4% of the population of the world is Jainism, right? In that also we've created so much divisions. And there is so much himsa going on between the different divisions. Right? So the principle of non-violence is not really being practiced many times. Right? So first understand violence. Where are you having thoughts and emotions that are harming others? And you are responsible. Your karma is created by every thought and emotion that you have, not just by your action in the physical world. Right? So if you really want to clean up the karma, you have to start working on how can you be more positive? How can you remove negative emotions? And as I said, you cannot rationalize these things. You have to find tools and techniques that will help you understand. Right? Limiting beliefs. We live our life through limiting beliefs, right? Because till we reach enlightenment, we are work in progress. So there is so much work to be done, right? Your values, where are your values weak? Where are you lying, cheating? Where are you being unethical, right? All of this, you may think nobody's watching, I can get away with it. But your energy field is watching. Okay, so every time you lie, you cheat, you do things in the outer world, which is coming from a place of unethical behaviors, you are creating burden on your karmic body. So when you point finger at somebody, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. Remember that. You think you're blaming somebody, but 3 times of that negativity is coming back to you. Actually, 100-fold. But I'm just saying, even with your hand, if you point finger at somebody else 3 times, that negativity is coming back to you. So be careful before you point fingers at anybody. We don't even know our own journey. We don't know how much baggage we've collected over lifetimes, right? How can you point finger at somebody else? Right? So again, those are our belief system where we think that we know better, right? So violence towards self is when you start saying things like, I'm stupid, I'm not good enough, I am not capable of doing this. That is violence too. Because inside of you is a divine part of you. It's like a Tritankar is sitting inside of you. A divine being is sitting in, and when you say, I am, you're actually telling that being, you are stupid, you are not good enough. Right? So it's violence towards self. Whenever you start putting yourself down, it's violence towards self when you're thinking you're superior than somebody else. We are all coming from the same fabric, the divine. Right? It's the karmic body which makes us different from one another. Right? But within us is all purity. Right? That's why when we do namaste, we are going down to the divine part of you. Right? So yeah, a lot of violence is created when you're beating yourself up. A lot of violence is created to others, and that one we understand because it's the outer world, others. Right? But sometimes, as we are saying, we are 90% of our behavior is robotic. So we don't even realize how we are behaving towards others. And have you seen people who are constantly throwing anger around? They don't even realize that they are throwing anger around. Right? They are kind of, anything that doesn't go according to how they want it, they get angry. Right? You don't realize that that anger is already something that is within you. Like energy attracts like energy in the world of energy. So instead of getting angry at the other person, you need to come back to yourself and learn how to clean your energy of all the anger you're holding inside of you. Right? So the outer world is like a mirror. It's mirroring and showing you what you're holding inside. And you can give to others only what you have within you. So if all you're holding is anger and you're going around the world distributing anger, it shows that that's the one predominant emotion within you and you need to work on it. It's reflecting back to you. Okay. So remember, you take responsibility 100% for everything that you've manifested in your life. And then from that point onwards, you cannot blame anybody anymore. Why? Because everything is manifested by you. You manifested every person, every situation. Why? For your soul's growth. It isn't because you have to suffer. It's because of your soul to grow, so that you can see what you manifested, and you don't like what you manifested, go change something within yourself. Yeah. So violence towards self and violence towards others. First, understand the violence you're creating. Then only you can change things. Right? So first, always Ahimsa. Understand Ahimsa more and more. And then, of course, violence in the physical world you're creating. That's more evident. Right? You're creating violence by the words that you speak. A lot of violence is created by the words that you speak. Right? How you judge others. How are you putting others down? Right? Is violence. How you're thinking that your belief system is better than anybody else's. Right? Why do we sometimes think that our religion is the best religion in the world? There are a lot of people from other religions who have reached enlightenment. So religion is just a tool to help you to become a better person. But don't confuse the tool with your identity. You are more than any religion. Right? And many lifetimes you've gone through many different religions. Why? Because you have to understand things from various different perspectives. To reach truth, you have to understand things from many different perspectives. So if you have having an issue with a particular religion too much in this lifetime, it's more than likely that you will take birth in the opposite side next time. So you can understand the other viewpoint. Okay, so that's why when we do past life regression, in between you become more humble. You realize things more from a higher perspective. And what is more important is creating peace, harmony, joy, love, rather than anything else. Yeah, all religion teach beautiful things. At the core level, every religion is teaching the same thing: how to be a better human being. Right? It's all the different interpretations we've placed on it that distinguishes one from the other. Right? So violence in the physical world, yeah, I think you're more aware of it, but become more aware of how you are creating the violence in the physical world. Once you understand yourself better by knowing, going through all this self-reflection, then comes the thing of non-violence. Right? How can you bring equanimity in your thoughts and emotions, which is the 99% of you that we talked about before, right? How do you have balanced emotions? How do you have positive thoughts, right? How can you strengthen your values more and more? Yeah. So when you know where you are, then you create a path for yourself and say, okay, I primarily spend my life in, say, frustration. Maybe I need to figure out how I can release the frustrations, right? So you're progressing from this violence to non-violence by understanding yourself more and more. Right? Does it make sense? I'm hoping it does, right? Because I get very enthusiastic. Yeah. But yes.
To know.
Sorry?
It's very interesting, ma'am, actually.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. I don't want you to just listen, and I want you to do self-reflection after the session. Pick up a few things of what I've spoken and reflect on it and see how it affects you. How do you resonate with it? Right? So really, to understand Ahimsa, you have to understand Ahimsa first. You cannot go from non-violence to violence. You have to go from violence to non-violence, because that's how we are as human beings. We tend to go towards the negativity first. And there's nothing wrong with it. That's our personality. Accept it and use that as a way to jumpstart into where you want to land up. Yeah. So next is about equanimity, right? And even in our religion, we are talking about in Jainism, right? There can be no development of equanimity in the absence of the purification of lesha or feelings. Therefore, sadhak must concentrate all his attention on the purification of feelings. This ties in with us saying, work on your 99%. Because lesha, feelings, is what you must put your attention on, right? So, yeah, there is so much your religion can teach you. Every religion actually will teach you the same thing in different words, right? Based on the consciousness level of the particular community or state that the religion was born in, you'll be teaching in that way. Right? So equanimity, you can only attain only when you're started working on doing your inner work, started working on your emotional, mental body. Then you can come to a state of equanimity where you can be more calm and relaxed. Irrespective of what is happening outside, you can sit there very calm, relaxed, observe everything, and know what is it that the outer world is showing you. Right? So it's a process, remember. It's not a on-off switch. You just don't switch from being negative to being positive. You have to go through the process. But what is important is be compassionate and kind to yourself as you go through the process. Each and every human being has the work to do. Okay? Every human being. So we all are in the same boat. Right? So be compassionate and kind to yourself as you do this. Now let's look at some of the tools and techniques. Awareness. First, you have to be aware, right? Like we said, you have to know who you are. So being in a state of awareness, watching yourself all the time, getting to know yourself more and more, right, is the first step. Even if you don't make any changes, just being aware shifts your energy field positively. Okay, I'm an energy healer. I study energy, right? Just by becoming aware, you are shifting your energy into positivity. Then you find a tool to work with, right? Meditation is a state of enhanced awareness. Right? So awareness is a tool that you have to learn, practice. You have to learn more and more how to become more aware. And to become more aware, you have to slow down a little bit. If your car is going at 500 miles an hour, you cannot take a U-turn, right? You have to slow down. We are rushing through life so fast. We are not even aware of what we are doing. Slow down, slow down. When you slow down, your productivity will go up actually. You'll get more creative ideas. So we think that by rushing through life, we can finish all our tasks. But by slowing down, you'll finish more tasks actually. Breath is an amazing technique and a tool. Okay, that's why in most of the Eastern philosophies, Tai Chi, Qigong, Pranayam, Yoga, we talk about the breath all the time. Right? There are so many different ways of breathing. You can figure out one that you like. The simplest is doing deep breathing. Right? Scientifically also, when you're very relaxed, very calm, your breath is very deep. And when you're agitated or stressed out, your breath becomes shallow. So just by watching your breath, you can know what is going on in your subconscious mind. And you can shift and change it just by changing your breath. So take nice deep breaths as often as you can during the day. Become a conscious breather. We are all doing unconscious breathing. Breath is very important. Become a conscious breather. Become aware when you're doing shallow breathing. Shift it, change it. And you can use it like a tool. You can actually use the breath to breathe out whatever you don't want and breathe in what you want. So I can actually exhale all the stress I'm feeling, and I can inhale all calmness. And the more you use it as a tool, the sharper it becomes. Remember, you are in charge of how sharp your tools are. The more you practice, the better you will get at it. Okay, even to get an undergrad degree, you spend, 18 years in school, right? And when it comes to spiritual growth, you want it happening like this. No, you have to put in the time and effort, right? And that's the only thing that you're going to carry with you. You're not going to carry all the degrees that you have attained. None of that goes with you, right? What will go with you is your energy body, your karmic body. Right? So where do you want to focus? Focus on both things. Focus on the outer world, but also spend some time in every day focusing on your inner world. Right? Grounding, right? One of the technique, grounding, why? Because Earth is also an energy field, because it's also made of atoms. But the Earth's energy is very strong and powerful and high frequency. right? So if you want to change your energy field and make it a more high frequency is when you are in a state of joy, peace, love, your frequency is high. When you're in a state of anger, grief, shame, you are vibrating at a lower frequency. So by connecting to the earth, you can raise your frequency, right? That's why we walk barefoot, right? In our religion, right? And that is important because you can pick up strong energies from the earth, right? There's a lot of research done on grounding. You can actually Google and read up. Okay? There are so many ways. So walk bare feet when you can. Yeah, that's one way of grounding, but you can also ground through your mental body and emotional body, right? And I can't get into that today. We don't have the time. Stay away from negativity, right? Don't get involved in negativity. If you play with pigs, you're going to get dirty because pigs like to be in the dirt. So you're going to get affected by the company you keep. So be careful. Keep away where possible. Of course, it's not always possible. Sometimes the negativity is in our family itself, right? But you can learn energy techniques to protect your energy field. Right? We are actually living in a sea of energy because everything is energy. Everything is made of atoms. So everything is energy. So we are going around. But if you don't know how to protect your energy field, you're picking up energy from everywhere else. So a lot of the anger you may have within you may not even be your anger. You may have picked it up from others. Right? So you have to learn some techniques. Go to energy healer, learn some techniques how to protect your energy. Right? And situations, right? There is something going on the street and everybody is rushing to see that negative situation. Right? But you don't realize sometimes you may be picking up energy from the negative situation. Keep away. Right? Keep away from emotional drama. Stop gossiping. Gossiping is a negative form of talking about a person. Right? Again, as I said, you're pointing one finger at the person, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. Right? Your energy is the most important resource. Don't pollute it. Right? You don't have to gossip. Spend that energy instead on your inner work. All the energy that you're expending in gossiping, bring back that power and use it on yourself. Stop judging others, right? Because you don't even know who you are. How can you tell somebody else what they should be, right? So again, a lot of different things, simple things I'm trying to teach here. Few things that you can practice. The more you practice, the better you'll get at it. Right. All right. I think I'm going to stop over here, right? Because I think we might be running out of time. I'm not sure. But yeah, these are simple things that I'm talking about here that you can practice, right? Breathing, become a conscious breather, right? Spend more and more time. Use your phone as a tool to remind you to take nice deep breaths every hour, right? Technology has done such a great amount of, you can use technology for your benefit, right? So yeah, figure out ways and means to ground yourself. That really helps a lot. Yeah. All right. So Neil, do we have time for question answers?
Yeah, definitely, ma'am. If you allow, we would like to take.
Okay. So yeah, let's open it up for question answers. And
Yeah.
then thank you also for listening to me so nicely.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Indeed, it was a very informative and very useful talk. You spoke about 4 different types of body, and that was really interesting. You explained very well emotional body and mental body. And apart from that, you mentioned one thing that 70 to 80% of our communication is non-verbal. And that was like,
Isn't that baffling? Yeah.
definitely means
You
we should think on it.
you should, because, and you know that, right? Because you can sense sometimes when you're in presence of certain people, you feel drained of energy. And in your presence of other people, you feel full of energy, right? So you know at some level that their energy is affecting you. And
Exactly,
that because of the communication going on.
exactly, ma'am. I was when you were saying this, I was literally self-introspecting myself, and then I could
Very good.
make it. Yeah, definitely it happens. And then these tools are really very useful. So, ma'am, we have couple of questions from our audience,
Sure.
and so I would like to take those. And also, if anybody wants to ask directly to Karuna, ma'am, they can raise their hand, virtual
Yeah.
hand. We will allow them to ask directly.
Okay.
So basically, one question came that while religions preach non-violence, religious fanaticism is seen as a major cause of terrorism. Do you think the elimination of religion from human society can lead to elimination of such acts like terrorism?
I think social transformation begins with individual transformation, right? Each one of us has to take accountability. Religion, I said, at the core level teaches only how to become a better human being, right? But fanaticism happens when you start adding all the belief systems that has been created by layers of people who are interpreting the religion, right? Because they're using words to interpret. And as I said, through words, you cannot understand religion or any spiritual thing, any sacred texts. So yeah, religion has caused more harm in this world than anything else, because people get so narrow-minded into their religion, thinking that this is the way to live life. And we have created a box with religion, right? And we try to live our life in that box, right? So I think, yes, it has created a lot of disharmony in the world, but I won't blame religion for it. I think the core essence of religion is excellent. It's only the layers that have been added upon it. And then it's each individual's karmic journey. What belief systems are you picking up from that religion that is making you feel discriminating, creating discriminations between you and others, right? Why are you using religion to discriminate yourself from one religion to another? So again, it's your personal journey. You need to work on it. And yes, we have created a lot of disharmony in the world through religion. And that's something, as I said, social transformation becomes with the individual. Every person has to take responsibility for the disharmony they are creating and work on bringing peace within. And the world will change. So I think spirituality is growing a lot in the last couple of decades. Why? Because more and more people are moving away from religion into just learning how to be a good human being, right? Spirituality is trying to become more like the spirit, the divine, right? So more and more people are moving into spirituality, and therefore spirituality has become such a common word now, right? So I think there is a movement happening as we are moving from Kali Yuga into Satyug. People are realizing religion is a tool. What tools do they need to move towards ultimate happiness? Right? So do you need the tool of religion or don't you need? Or what tools do you need to go on this journey? I hope that answers to some extent.
Yeah, thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks for sharing your viewpoint on this. So we have two more participants who wants to directly ask you a question. I'll unmute.
Hello.
Mr. Rahul Jain, you can ask the question.
Ji. Namaste, ma'am. How does our thoughts affect on mental and physical body? Like you said that our different types of bodies, they used to affect on our physical body. So how does emotional thoughts affect on our physical body?
Take, for example, stress. We know scientifically that 80% to 90% of all diseases is somehow linked to stress, right? It is proven scientifically. 80% of the visits you make to the doctor is linked to stress. What is stress? Stress is a thought and an emotion, right? So yeah, your thoughts and emotions, every thought and emotion is affecting, because what happens when you have a thought and an emotion is also energy. It's vibrating, okay? All of us are vibrating at a particular frequency. We have a baseline frequency on which we are vibrating, okay? The lower your frequency, the more you're vibrating with not diseases, but you're vibrating with anger, shame, guilt, revenge, frustration, right? When you're vibrating at a lower frequency, as I said, in the world of energy, like energy attracts like energy. You're going to attract more and more things from the outer world, which are also going to be vibrating at your frequency. What are bacteria and viruses which are bringing diseases? Those are also living beings, but they are vibrating at a very low frequency. So you're going to attract more bacteria and viruses into your body. Do you understand? That's why the same virus, we are all breathing the same air. One person will get a cold, the other person won't, right? Again, why? Because it depends on your frequency. There's a great book written by called Power versus Force, scientific research which has been done, which is calibrating the level of consciousness with emotions. Okay, so if you're vibrating at a lower frequency, you are going to attract more and more things in your life from a lower frequency. You're going to be more prone to diseases, right? So if you start vibrating at a higher frequency of, say, love, compassion, peace, joy, then all these low frequency will not bother you at all. That's when equanimity comes. You are remaining at a frequency which is too high. Most of the things around you are negative. They are lower frequency. They're not going to affect you. It's a whole paradigm shift in thinking. right? If you look at, think of yourself frequency, every thought is a vibration in your energy field. So the more thoughts you are having of a lower caliber, the more your frequency, overall frequency is coming down. So when I say know yourself, I'm saying, know what frequency are you vibrating at? What are your regular thoughts and emotions? Because if you can move above that, you can make a huge difference to just overall health, right? And by health, I mean mental health, emotional health, physical health, right? And you can move more and more to have a cleaner energy body, because you want to leave this earth with a better energy body, because you want your next incarnation to be better than this incarnation. You don't want to go down, you want to go up, right? So taking responsibility for everything you've created in your life. First, stop blaming anything outside of you, because you manifested everything outside of you. That's a big shift in thinking.
Yeah.
Everything that is happening, 10 people watching a drama going on. Every person will have different reactions to it, right? Because it will affect each person differently. Like energy attracts like energy, right? So you will get affected differently.
Yeah.
So when you reach the state of equanimity, outside things don't affect you anymore. Why? Because you're vibrating at a very high frequency. So it's like water off a duck's back, it just slips off. Any negativity coming towards you just slips off. Doesn't even touch you, because your frequency is so high. Low frequency is like this. When I superimpose a low frequency sine wave on a high frequency sine wave, what is happening? The net result is still high.
Yeah, ma'am.
Physics, plain physics, right? So do you want to vibrate at a low frequency, or do you want to vibrate at higher?
Of course, high.
Exactly. So you can only vibrate high if you know how to bring inner peace. You don't know how to love somebody unless you learn to love yourself. Otherwise, it's just conditional love. I love my son only when he follows everything I say. The minute he does things on his own, I don't love him anymore. Conditional, right? Why? Because you don't know what love is. Love is when you can learn to love yourself more and more, when you can accept your strengths and your weaknesses with equal love. That's the only time you learn to accept another person with equal love. Right? So yeah, you have to build yourself up. That's why inner journey is important.
Ma'am, you have
Did I answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
One more question. You said about few key points, and in that you said avoid negative people. So what to do if we are surrounded with negative people, and how to stay positive with negative situations and negative people? Like how to surround ourselves with positivity?
That's a very good question, actually. Several answers. One is, first foremost, I would say learn some techniques to protect your energy field. There are techniques available. Okay, I can't teach us now, but there are techniques. Second thing you can do is, like, I go to a party and people like to gossip, right? So I will move myself away and go play with the children. Right? I'm in the party, but I'm not participating in the gossip. So you have a choice of whether you'll participate or not. And suppose there are no children's adult party and I'm sitting there, people are gossiping about things, or, talking about the world situation, which they're not doing anything except talking negativity about it. I don't participate. I don't. I may even sing a song in my brain to keep myself happy. Right? But I'm not going to participate. And if they ask me for an opinion, I have no opinion. Right? So going on this journey implies you have to have good boundaries. You need to know your boundaries very well. So I know my boundary. I'm not going to participate in emotional drama. I'm not going to participate in negativity as much as I can, right? Because like energy attracts like energy. I'm still holding negativity in me. Till I reach enlightenment, I am holding negativity, right? So yeah, sometimes I may attract that and I may end up participating. But the difference between me and others would be, I won't stay in that frequency for too long, because I have tools and techniques by which I'll bring myself out of that frequency quickly. So if I'm undergoing sadness, I'm not going to remain in the sad energy for too long. I'm going to get myself out of the sad energy using my tools and techniques back into a happier energy state. Right? That's the difference. It's not that I won't experience negative emotion, but I'm not scared of negative emotions. Why? Because I have tools and techniques. Right? So if you're surrounded by negative people, you have a choice of how you respond. How you respond to negativity is your choice 100%. If somebody's getting angry at you and you are getting angry back at them, you're just playing this game of exchanging negative energy. Right? Can you stop yourself and say, okay, you know what? this discussion doesn't work for me. I'm going to go for a walk. Right? So yeah, there are ways you can do it. You can always, where you focus is where your energy goes. If you can focus on finding a solution to your problem, then you will land up there.
Yeah. So how to use our energy wisely?
By becoming like just what I spoke. Be careful. Where are you putting your energy? Are you putting in actions which are not aligning with empowering you, which are not aligning with making you feel positive and happy? Or are you putting your energy into things that are making you happy? Take some time every day to think about some happy things. I'm sure there are happy things happened in your life, because where you focus is where your energy goes. When you're focusing on happy things, you're bringing the vibration of your energy field higher. Right? As I said, throughout the day, good things happen, and one negative thing happens, you keep thinking about it. When you keep thinking about something negative all the time, you're bringing the frequency of energy field down. So your energy, how are you using? Are you doing something which is making you feel happy, or are you doing something that's not making you feel? Where are your actions? Right? People are in jobs which they are not happy about, right? 54% of Americans, I thought I read somewhere, are in jobs that is not making. Maybe they need to figure out how they can look at their job differently. Or maybe they need to do some hobbies which make them happy to kind of balance the two things together. Right? So you always have a choice. It's your energy. Everything that you do, you're using energy. Use it wisely. Right? If I don't want to go to certain parties because I know there are people there who I don't want to interact with, I have a choice. I can find a way to say, no, I cannot come.
Yeah.
And if you have a belief system which says, I have to go, then find a way how you would protect your energy field when you go there. Right? You may have to go because there is some social obligations, right? But do you have to stay for 5 hours there? Can you go for half an hour? You always have some choice. Can you go for half an hour, show your face, come out of it? Right? So yeah, you have choices. We just don't, we behave robotically. We don't realize that we have choices. Right? But you do have choices. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. So is there any technique to make ourselves such positive and surround ourselves with complete positivity?
There will not be complete positivity till you reach enlightenment. So, you just have to work at it piece by piece, right? Simple thing. You can surround yourself with things that you like in the house. Why have material things in the house which bring bad memories?
Okay.
Why do we have to keep those things? Do a purging, remove things from your house where when you look at it, you don't feel good. That means that thing doesn't belong in your house.
What about people?
Again, we already talked about it, so I'm not going to go down that path again. You always have a choice. Basically, you have a choice. You have to be smart to figure out your choices.
Yes. Okay.
So I think now, I would like to invite Bankim Shahji to ask a question. Yeah, Bankim ji, you can ask.
Yeah, Jai Jinendra, madam.
Jai Jinendra.
See, at my age, nearly 70 now, to choose the tools for inward journey or to explore inner self, it will be difficult. There is Vipassana, Preksha, Raja Yoga. How do we go about it? Because we have a very limited time.
There is no time. You are an eternal being. Your soul exists forever. So first, let go the belief system that you have limited time, right? You can make a lot of progress in 1 year versus somebody who's young and who may take 10 years to make the progress, because you have the wisdom of experience with you. So can you remain in an equanimity state? Can you learn to be more calm, positive? Can you take one tool and learn that more? Because it's not a linear journey. It's not that if you spend more time, you become better. No, it's an exponential journey. Okay. So you could be anywhere in your lifetime. You could be 80 years old, 90 years old. You could still do a quantum leap into the next level of happiness. So it's nothing to do with time. So let go that belief. You have all the time, Mr. Shah, to start making changes.
Which tool to choose? Because there are so many now. Vipassana is there, Preksha is there.
Yeah, I think we complicate. I think we complicate our life by trying to do complicated tools. I gave you some simple tools. Start practicing those ones. Those are so simple.
Okay.
Right? Become aware, be whatever, breathing, start becoming a conscious breather, do grounding. Take some simple tools, guys. Life is not meant to be complicated. It's our brain, the prefrontal cortex we developed in the last 300 years, which wants to overcomplicate everything, right? There is no necessary need to even do anything complicated. Find simple things. Simple things always work. Gandhiji talked about it, right? Simple, live simple. You don't need to know complicated books and everything. Everything is within you. So find
Thank you.
simple ways of living your life. And you will see the more simplicity you adopt, the faster your growth is.
Thank you very much.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So basically, this was a very wonderful talk and very nice Q&A session also. You gave us very good insight. And one viewer has asked, can you repeat the name of the book which you mentioned for frequency?
Power versus force.
Power
Power.
versus force.
Dr. Hawkins, yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you, ma'am. So anybody else has any question? ओके सो बेसिकली मैम यहाँ पे हमारे क्वेश्चंस कंप्लीट होते हैं एंड डेफिनेटली पीपल मे हैव सम क्वेश्चंस आफ्टर दिस टॉक बिकॉज people may start self-introspecting and then they come across any questions. So I will pass on that question to you and I hope you'll answer them so that they get satisfactory answer.
So I will try my best.
Yeah, sure. So thank you so much, ma'am, for
Thank you,
sparing
thank
your valuable time with us on the Jain Talks and sharing your insight, experience, and your life journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All the best.
Thank you. So हम आज के इस सेशन को यहाँ विराम देते हैं और विराम देने से पहले मैं आप सभी से कहना चाहूंगा कि हर फ्राइडे को हमारा ये जैन टॉक सेशन होता है जिसमें हम स्कॉलर्स को इनवाइट करते हैं इंडिया अब्रॉड से और कोई ना कोई जैन टॉपिक के ऊपर यानी कि सेंटर आइडिया जैनिज्म को लेके रहेगा उसके ऊपर इस मंच के ऊपर डिस्कशन होता है, टॉक सेशन होता है. सो डिफरेंट टॉपिक्स कवर होते हैं. तो मैं सबको कहना चाहूंगा कि आप हर फ्राइडे को जुड़िए. नेक्स्ट फ्राइडे को हमारे साथ 2 स्कॉलर्स जुड़ने वाले हैं, मिस्टर राजेंद्र बांटिया जी और डॉक्टर वर्धमान जैन, जो कि हमें मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स जो होते हैं उसको लेके बहुत अच्छी जानकारियां देने वाले हैं. एक बहुत अच्छा काम हो रहा है, शायद हम लोग उस काम से अनअवेयर रहेंगे. तो वो काम क्या है, उस काम के पीछे रीजंस क्या है और वो काम करने के बाद क्या फायदा हो सकता है, तो ये सारी बातों की जानकारी हमें उस सेशन के अंदर मिल सकती है. मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स जिसे ट्रेजर कहा जाता है, मीन्स आज के समय में अगर आप चेक करो तो किसी के पास मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स है तो वो कहेगी कि ये तो बहुत कीमती मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स है, इसकी बहुत कीमत होती है वगैरह वगैरह. बट ऐसा क्या है मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट्स में, और ये सब जानकारियां हम नेक्स्ट टॉक सेशन के अंदर प्राप्त करेंगे. तो सभी को मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि फ्राइडे को आप जुड़िए जैन टॉक्स के अंदर. सो इसी के साथ हम आज की सेशन को विराम देते हैं. जगत के सभी जीवों का कल्याण हो, जगत के सभी जीवों का मंगल हो, जगत के सभी जीव हमारे मित्र हैं, कोई भी हमारा वैरी नहीं है, इस भावना के साथ प्रार्थना करते हैं. और आज मैम ने जो एनर्जी फील्ड के बारे में बात की, फ्रीक्वेंसी के बारे में बात की, तो शायद मुझे लगता है कि जैन टॉक्स के इस मंच के ऊपर हम जो ये प्रेयर कर रहे हैं जगत के सभी जीवों के लिए वेल विशेस और सभी जीव हमारे मित्र है, कोई भी हमारा वैरी नहीं है, तो इसको भी और बेहतर आज के इस कॉन्सेप्ट से समझ सकते हैं. तो इसी के साथ प्रेयर. अणु परमाणु शिव बनी जाओ, अखा विश्व नु मंगल थाओ, सर्वे जीवो मोक्षे जाओ. आमेमि सव्व जीवे सव्वे जीवा खमंतु में, मित्ति में सव्व भुवेसु वैरम मज्जन केणै, सर्वथा सौ सुखी थाओ, पाप ना कोई आचरो, राग द्वेषति मुक्त बनीने, समता सौ समाचरो. सभी को मेरे प्रणाम. करुणा मैम प्रणाम.
Pranam ji, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.